When I need answers about anything to do with personal growth, I go straight to my mom and my aunt. Here they are, Priscilla Babin and Tina Gilliatt with the sister sauce.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tina Gilliard, and I am here with my gorgeous sister, Priscilla Babin. We are the Sensei Sisters, and this is the Sister Sauce. And so we are coming to you today with episode 45.
45.
45. Woo!
Woo!
Up on that 1 year mark. Yep. And we are so excited to be talking to you about some good stuff today. How you doing today, Priscilla? Have you had a great week?
It's been a week.
Busy?
It's good. It's a good week. It's a good week.
Oh, that's
It just
awesome.
never seems to not be busy. I don't know. I was waiting for a lull. There has not been any lulls.
Yeah, I keep waiting for a lull too. And then I work all evening. I have this stupid mindset where if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm not productive, and
Uh-huh.
it just makes me crazy because I should enjoy the empty time that I have, but I sit there the whole time thinking, what am I supposed to be doing that I'm not doing?
It's sort of an ADHD paradox, you know? It's like we have times when we just kind of freeze up on stuff. Like we know we have this long to-do list and we just can't. And we're just like, done. And then other times when that resting time is valuable, that's all we can think about is the stuff we think we ought to be doing. There's no happy medium. Whoops,
Yeah.
I kicked my computer.
What's your hot about this week?
My hot sauce. I found a quote, which I am not sure. I think this is I don't have X, aka Twitter, so I always get confused about where stuff comes from. This is from an account called Let My People Glow. I like that. At Mitchell C.
I like
Clark.
that too.
Mitchell does not have a T in it, if you want to look that up, but it says, when you are nervous about stepping outside of your comfort zone, remind yourself it feels scary because it's unfamiliar, not because I am incapable. Let me say it again because I kind of fumbled it. It feels scary because it's unfamiliar, not because I'm incapable.
I like that. That's
I
interesting.
like it too.
I have a question for
yeah.
you. Is it still called a tweet since it's on X?
I don't know. What else would it
I have
be?
not embraced X. I still
No,
call it Twitter.
I didn't
And
really embrace it when it was Twitter neither.
I'll talk to Liv about it, and I'll say, oh, did you see that thing on Twitter? And then I'll correct myself and say, I mean X. And she'll say, Mom, nobody calls it X. So I don't feel so bad if the young people are calling it Twitter still. I'm in good company.
Mhm.
But I was like, what do you call it if it's not a tweet now because you're not Twittering?
It rolls off the tongue better.
Twitter.
X just sounds like X. I don't know.
Negative.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Mhm.
It's like when I lived in apartment X13 and it got broken into and robbed, and cars got stolen, and
It's just bad luck all around.
X13 was not a good apartment to live in.
It sounds like
a great speech.
It sounds like a secret formula that makes supervillains or something.
I remember after AJ's truck had gotten stolen and then the apartment got broken into, or almost broken into, while I was in it, and the guy was breaking our door down, and the construction guy for the apartment, maintenance guy, was fixing my door that was almost caved in, and he said to me, this apartment's been broken in like 12 times in the last 3 years. And I said, I should have known X13 was not a good apartment number.
It's
Should not have
close.
accepted this assignment.
Got
Well,
the
we
cursed
have a
apartment.
great topic today. It is National Self-Improvement Month during the month of
Mhm.
September. And this episode drops on September 1st, right at the start of the month.
Perfect.
And so we're going to talk about ways to embrace your best self this September as you celebrate National Self-Improvement Month. So you ready to roll, Priscilla?
I am.
I'll
We
share while you're getting your notes together. I'll share that the information that we liked the best we found on incadence.org. And Incadence is a music therapy organization. So very interesting. We'll put the link to our article about it in the show notes. Go check out their website, though, in general. It's pretty cool. They do video music therapy. So you can like get on Zoom and do music therapy. I think that music therapy is probably a very good thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree. I
Mhm.
think one of Renee's friends went into music therapy or was
I
trying to go
remember
into
you
music
had
therapy.
kind of toyed with it a little bit when you were in college,
Mm,
when you were teaching. It's
yeah.
music is such a universal love language.
hmm That was I majored in early childhood education for everybody else who doesn't know. And my main focus when I did my senior seminar, because we didn't have like a dissertation, it was undergrad, but we did a senior seminar and mine was on music and movement. And that was my favorite thing. And then I ended up being a Zumba instructor for a while. So
Go figure. Music and movement, right?
Uh-huh.
I never even put those two things together. I knew both, but not until you just said that. That's
Yeah,
crazy. I love it.
yeah. And also dramatic play, which nobody could ever understand what I was saying. They thought I was saying Germanic play. Like I guess like we were a bunch of little German children. And we went to- maybe we were going to sing a song in the mountains.
Oh, there she goes
It's
with those
our nanny.
accents. Well, how come I didn't get the talent for accents?
I I don't it all I
You
think
guys
it
are
all
all so good with it.
I don't think Eric and Scott can do any either.
Oh, wow.
There must have been one
I
gene and
mean,
I got it.
you and your kids are good at it. I'm terrible at it.
You're not terrible.
Oh,
It's just
I
not one
am.
of your strengths. Got to phrase these things right, Christina. Well, we should get back to improving ourselves.
Oh, yes, we could improve by staying on track today. How about that?
Oh, we could improve by not accidentally clicking things and taking ourselves to different pages. That's what I need to do. So, so we've got National Self-Improvement Month. Did you already say? You already said all what it is, right?
Yes.
So our first suggestion is to reflect and set intentions. Oh, like intentional living. Like Tina likes to talk about intentional living. We've talked about that before. Before diving into any self-improvement journey, take a moment to reflect on your current circumstances and accomplishments and consider your strengths and areas where you'd like to grow. Reflecting on your past achievements can boost your confidence and provide insight into where you can direct your efforts. Once you've reflected, set clear intentions for what you want to achieve this month, whether it's improving a skill, eating healthy prepared meals, or enhancing your relationships. Having defined goals will give your self-improvement efforts direction. And if you want some tips on setting goals, we've got an episode.
Yes, we do. I
You can
believe we
find it.
do. A whole episode. Yes. All right. So the second one is to learn something new. And in Cadence says, learning is a lifelong journey that keeps the mind engaged and curious. Use this month to learn a new skill or expand your knowledge in an intriguing area. This could involve enrolling in an online course, reading books on subjects that you're passionate about, or even mastering a new hobby. Learning enhances your personal growth, boosts your confidence, and opens doors to new opportunities. I taught a workshop a couple of times. I don't know if you had attended either of those, Priscilla, but it was about intentional growth. And it was all about how you have to figure out, sort of like what number one was, figure out where you are. One of the challenges is figuring out what it is you don't know that you want to know, and then take that next step to bridge the gap and learn something new. And we also had our episode about things that are available to seniors. So if you are a senior citizen, there are a lot of colleges that offer free tuition for seniors, or reduced tuition for seniors in some cases. So it's an exciting opportunity to take new classes, but there are a lot of things you can go to for free if you just seek it out.
Yeah, like through your local library or your
Yeah.
parks department, or just Google.
I
How can
used to
about-
say that the brain can store as much as like 1,000 computers or whatever. It was some quote that I read in an article that, and then we did our myth busting episode, and I found out that that wasn't true. We busted that myth.
It's okay. Your brain can still store a lot. Number 3 is to prioritize self-care. We've got an episode on that too, don't we?
Goodness sakes, we just
think
all
we
about
do.
self-improvement, aren't we?
We really are. Well, I mean, that's what we did when we did Sensei Sisters before we started our podcast. Sensei Sisters was all about self-improvement, personal growth, the whole focus every week. So if y'all never saw us as Sensei Sisters and you only been on the Sister Sauce, then go to our Facebook page and
Or
do
our
some
YouTube.
scrolling.
Our YouTube has all our videos as well.
Yes, that's true. Our YouTube has everything. So you can just go back to the beginning, just start over and binge. And binge us. But here's what they say about prioritizing self-care. Self-improvement goes hand in hand with self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being is essential for your growth journey. Incorporate daily practices such as exercise, meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature. Go touch some grass. Prioritizing self-care rejuvenates you and strengthens your ability to tackle challenges and setbacks that may arise during your self-improvement journey.
I like it. The next one is set healthy habits. Now remember we talked about habits like getting rid of, I don't know if it was a whole episode, but we talked about habit forming and how you could break bad habits and adopt new ones. And setting healthy habits is a great way to celebrate self-improvement month. You can establish positive habits, and those can lead to lasting transformation. Identify areas in your life where you'd like to create healthier routines, whether it's improving your sleep schedule, maintaining a balanced diet, or incorporating regular exercise. Small changes can profoundly impact your overall well-being. There's a great book, Atomic Habits, James Clear. Go read it. Consistency is key when forming new habits. To start with manageable changes and gradually build on them. So start out small and then just gradually and build on what you're doing.
Sleep one is so important. I had a couple of nights of actual sleep this week. Got excited and let my guard down, and my cat woke me up 3 times last night.
I was going to say something had to happen with the cat.
She let me, I had a full night's sleep night before. And I thought she's finally on a normal schedule again. Nope. She went all crazy last night. I don't know what her problem was. Oh, well. So
Yeah.
our next one is to cultivate mindfulness. Cultivate mindfulness. If y'all haven't seen the whole TikTok or whatever about being demure and mindful, it's all stuck in my head now. It all started with some girl trying to go to work or go to a job interview or something she was going to, and saying showing how she was dressed, and everything. Very demure, very mindful. Okay. In a fast-paced world, cultivating mindfulness can provide inner peace and clarity. Mindfulness, if you're not sure, involves being fully present in the moment without judgment, which is hard to do when you have ADHD or any other
Yes, indeed.
neurodivergent situation going on, or if you're in menopause or whatever, or if you're really stressed out, or if you're a caregiver, or there's so many things that can affect your mindfulness. It's hard, but you just got to focus. It's hard, but focus. Maybe take some L-theanine too. It doesn't hurt. But practicing mindfulness through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply taking time to appreciate your surroundings can help reduce stress and improve your overall outlook on life. Being present also allows you to make conscious choices that align with your self-improvement goals. And I think just generally being mindful, there's so many things, you and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Just customer service and just like people's, so many times me and Tina are saying, I wish people would just do their job, because they will, you'll pay for a service or a item or whatever, and then it's not what you wanted. It's not what you ordered. I can't tell you how many times I have ordered food delivery and something is always missing. And it's just like, if you just look at what's written and do it,
Oh,
just
yeah.
do it, and
Yeah.
the people are always just like, because their mind is somewhere else. Maybe their face is in their cell phone, which I admit I have a ridiculous, need to be playing with my phone all the time. And some of that is, the self-stimulating kind of activity that it comes out of being neurodivergent. It's like I have to be fiddling with something at all times. I can't ever just sit still. If I cannot sit and watch a movie. If I'm watching a movie in a movie theater, like it's very hard for me, not to be going, oh, looking around. So mindfulness can be tricky. But
I remember we used to tease mom about that when she was younger, and she would we could never get her to like watch a movie with us. She was always watching a movie and drawing something, or watching a movie and doing a crossword puzzle. We're
it
like,
makes a lot of
Mom,
sense
you're not
now,
paying
huh?
attention. Yes, I am. I can do two things at one time.
And ask Livia about it too. I bet she'll tell you that there are some times when you cannot do one thing by itself. You need to have the second thing going. Like
Yeah.
Joey insists that he can't do homework without the TV on in the background. And I've had times I've forced him to turn the TV off and try to do his homework. And it's a lot of rolling around on the couch and sighing, he just can't
Uh,
function.
I remember when my stepson was little, and we were trying to teach him the books of the Bible, and he couldn't memorize them. He just was
Mhm.
struggling so bad to memorize them, and he had to take a little test for catechism or
Mhm.
whatever. And we figured out he could not sit still. And he said, if you just let me move, I can learn these. And he marched all around our living room in circles, saying the books of the Bible, and that's how we memorized them. And so
Yeah.
now when my other two kids needed to move, I let them move.
Mhm.
Livia is
Yeah.
like, cannot sit still for anything. And it makes me nervous because I'll ask her to work on something for me. and because she's one of my employees technically,
Mhm.
and she's a graphic artist, and I've got her working on some stuff right now. And I'm like, how can you work on that while you're listening to a podcast? You need to focus on what you're doing for me because you're gonna, no, Mom, I got this. I can do this. But yeah, oh my gosh, she's always listening to something. And sometimes I feel like I'm a neglectful parent. I told AJ, I said, the only time that Livia and I ever have an actual conversation is if she forgets her headphones at home. And so she'll even say to me, if you want to listen to your podcast, you can. I'm listening to mine. And I'm like, we never talk. Come on, let's talk. But that's crazy. Okay, so the next way is to embrace your challenges and failures. And that's part of growing yourself. And self improvement is not always linear. It's you have challenges, you have setbacks along the way. And instead of looking at those as obstacles that you can't overcome, embrace them as opportunities for growth. My old boss used to always say, Tina, I have an opportunity for you. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be hard, isn't it? He called everything that was difficult an opportunity. Every failure is a chance to learn and refine your approach by adopting a growth mindset and persevering through challenges. You'll develop resilience and a stronger sense of determination. How about that?
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
When on The Office, on The Office, when Jim and Pam, if you haven't watched The Office, fast forward a little because I'm going to do a spoiler. On The Office, Jim and Pam in the last season end up going to marriage counseling briefly. And they are told by their therapist to call their challenges opportunities.
Yeah,
And that gets
forgot about that.
it gets pretty snarky. Their use of the word opportunity.
Oh,
It's funny how you can weave things into sarcasm when you really want to.
I had forgotten about that. I'm gonna have to figure out how I can use that on AJ. Okay, let's see. Oh no, you're next.
Oh, it's my turn.
I was jumping ahead.
I forgot it was my
I
turn.
almost skipped you.
Foster positive relationships. That's number 7. Surrounding yourself with supportive and positive individuals, like your sister, can greatly contribute to your self-improvement journey. Use this month to evaluate your relationships and consider whether they uplift and encourage your growth. So you could do like Tina's doing and weed out your Facebook friends list. When you have thousands of friends, you have plenty you can get rid of. I don't have that many. I
Yep.
think I have 500, which is probably 300 more than I really ever interact with. But the next part says to nurture connections with people who inspire you, like the sister sauce, and challenge to improve and offer constructive feedback. So, have some accountability there. Especially, it helps when you're trying to start new habits or end old bad habits. Meaningful relationships can provide emotional nourishment and create an environment conducive to personal development.
I like that. Yeah, I definitely weeded out my Facebook friend list. I had like over, I don't know, 3,500 people on my friend list because I would go speak at something and people would come up to me afterward and meet me. And then they would send me friend requests and I would accept all these friend requests. And then that was it. They never communicated with me ever again. Same thing with like John Maxwell team members, Toastmaster team members, that I worked with maybe one time and never really made a strong connection with. So I was trying to get rid of that on my Facebook. And if you want to wake up your audience, tell them you're going to delete them from Facebook. I posted and pinned a post just to say, hey, look, guys, if you're here looking to find out why I removed you as a friend, this is what I'm doing. I'm using this third-party app to help me figure out who I've interacted with the most. And unfriending people that haven't engaged with me in 200 posts or within the last year. And now that's a lot. I mean, 200 posts or within the last year is a lot. And I actually had people comment that showed up as inactive while I was in the middle of the process, comment on that post and say, please don't delete me. I love reading your stuff. I'm just not one to comment. And I thought, yeah, that's how my husband is. He will go
Mhm.
read everybody else's stuff, but he won't post anything about himself or comment.
Mhm.
Sometimes he comments like to say happy birthday or whatever, but he's not a big like contributor on Facebook. He just likes to troll everybody else. Not really troll
Yeah.
because he doesn't do it with bad intentions, but anyway. Okay, so the next one is practice gratitude. I love this one too. In the pursuit of self-improvement, it's always easy to focus on what we lack rather than appreciate what we have. So gratitude is a powerful practice that shifts your perspective toward positivity. Take a few minutes each day to acknowledge what you're thankful for, big or small. Cultivating gratitude boosts your mood and enhances your overall well-being, making your self-improvement journey much more fulfilling. And I will say, I have a lot of friends who do gratitude journals.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of cool. And I have my blessing bracelet on. The blessing bracelet that Priscilla gave me for Christmas that I absolutely love. There is a movie about called The Blessing Bracelet. And that's when Priscilla found out that I liked the blessing bracelet concept. And she got me this for Christmas last year. And the whole point of the blessing bracelet is that it has one, two, three, four beads. I was thinking it was five, but it's four beads. And you go through when you put the blessing bracelet on, you go through and you make each bead mean a specific blessing. So I might wake up in the morning and say, okay, this bead is because I'm thankful for my family, and this bead is because I'm thankful for this opportunity that I have, and this one is I'm thankful for my church. And so you can change it every day. You can repeat those things every day. And I need to be better about it. I wear the bracelet and think about it, but don't always do the designation. But I love the whole idea. So a gratitude journal, a blessing bracelet, some kind of way to intentionally focus on your blessings.
Mhm. Very good. The next one is 9, evaluate and adjust. As National Self-Improvement Month draws to a close, so at the end of the month, take time to evaluate your progress and reflect on your goals from the beginning of the month and assess how far you've come. So all those little measures count for something, right? We talked about that before too, celebrating. And they say celebrate your achievements, which is what I was getting ready to say, no matter how small, and acknowledge the areas that still need attention. This self-assessment isn't about perfection, but about acknowledging growth and identifying areas where you can improve. Use this evaluation as a foundation for your ongoing journey of self-improvement. So you can
Awesome.
keep improving. And the next year, you'll have a lot less to do.
I like that. Yeah. And overall, just don't forget that self-growth is not just a one-time thing, it's a lifelong commitment, and you should be continuously improving throughout your life. I actually worked on a continuous improvement team at my old job where it was just part of the department, and they broke us up into teams, and we each had our specific focus. Ours was communication. We were constantly trying to improve communication within the company. And when you were saying before about people not doing their job, communication is part of it.
Mhm.
I forget what it was that we were talking about the doctor's office and people not communicating properly from the doctor's office. And I want to beat my head against a wall because, you know, we have a cancer patient in our family and we need good communication.
Mhm.
So it's just insane how communication can make or break business. You have been through that with several businesses you've dealt with recently where you text or send an email and they don't respond for days. I mean, what is
Mhm.
up with that? Communication is so important. I also wanted to share there's a website called selfgrowth. I think it's selfgrowth.com. Let me look real quick. Yeah, selfgrowth.com. So it's self like yourself, SELF, growth, GROWTH.com. And I'll put that in the show notes as well. But it's a really good website. I'm hoping it's still free to join. I joined a long time ago and I have not looked at it in recent time. I probably haven't looked at it in over a year, but I still get their emails. But I will share this with you. It's like all these different areas of self growth, like, for example, success skills, health, relationships in your personal life, finances, emotional health, spiritual health, lifestyle changes, things like that. And what you do is when you first go on, and it may be a little different now because I originally set my account up probably 15 years ago, but when you go on and you sign up for an account, there are different assessments you can take, and it helps them figure out what types of articles they should kind of push at you and forward to you. And you can go exploring on your own. You can even contribute your own articles if you're a writer. I actually have a few articles on the platform somewhere. It's been so long since I've looked at it. But yeah, it's a really good website. It's got a lot of professionals on it, and there are a lot of books that came out of selfgrowth.com, like people on there teamed up to write books about different topics. And so they have their own publishing branch, and very, very good website. Check it out, selfgrowth.com. It's a good
Ooh.
topic.
Uh-huh. It's our favorite.
It'll be good to see how we can grow in September.
Yeah. Have to focus. We have to be very mindful.
Yeah, intentional.
Yes.
Act yourself into a feeling. That's my favorite quote. You know that. You've heard it a bajillion times. It was Jerome Bruner, Harvard psychiatrist. He said, "You are more likely to act yourself into a feeling than to feel yourself into an action. So stop sitting back, waiting to feel like you want to do something. Just do it. Be like Nike."
Mhm. Just do it.
Why did that sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, no, it was meant to sound like Shia LaBeouf, but we have to bust out the Shia LaBeouf.
Maybe your
again.
accents aren't as good as I thought they were. No,
Yeah. I need to go bust out my whiteboard and set it up in here again with my to-do list on it.
yes.
I have
I
a
love that.
whiteboard
I
that's
loved
like,
walking into your house and seeing your whiteboard with all your lists on it.
I had moved it into the other room in an effort to declutter my space. And I had written all the things I wanted to do when we were renovating, not renovating really, but when we were redecorating Joey's bedroom. And we did all of the things except tidying everything up. We kind of hit a wall with getting everything tidied up because it's a 13-year-old boy's bedroom and it's just continuous chaos, especially with all the Legos and stuff. And lately I've been walking in there and the closet doors are open and the cabinet door is open and everything is just kind of like, and I was like, I give up. If he doesn't like it, he'll have to clean it. Gotta
I did
work on
that
it.
for a while too, gave up on my kids and said, nope, I'm done. And now that my daughter's 25, she finally seems to have the hang of cleaning up her own room. I did something right. Occasionally she pretends she doesn't know how, but I know she knows how.
She probably does the same thing that that Nico does because they're two off of the same
Oh yeah, two peas in a
leaves.
pod.
Yeah, two leaves out of the same tree or whatever.
Her thing is water bottles everywhere. sometimes they're not fully drunk, sometimes they are.
Cups,
And
always cups.
cups,
And
and she brings the whole cereal container upstairs in her bedroom. I'm like, you can't just like dump some in a cup and bring the cup upstairs. You got to take the whole cereal container.
and yeah, and Nico will do the thing, and I'm assuming he still does this. He does not live with me anymore, but when he did, the room would be trashed like for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden he would disappear, and I would open the door and be like, "You good in here?" And he'd be like, "I'm cleaning up," and he's on the floor in the middle of just chaos. And it was never just tidy up; it was like destroy everything and then rebuild it from scratch, like reorganize everything. And then the room would be absolutely spotless, organized for about 24 hours. And then it would start to slide down the hill again.
I'm a freak about that kind of stuff. It,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
That's why we have doors. We need to have a garage sale.
I know. You read my mind. I was thinking about your lizard lounge. I was like, we could make you a cute little office in there. And I know it doesn't have AC. We would have to figure out how to get you
Yeah.
air in there. How we could create like an office for you and put your whiteboard up and all.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to hang out in there though. It's so closed off.
Yeah. You need to
I thought
open.
about having like a little office nook in my bedroom since I have all that extra
You do
space,
have a
but
lot of space in your bedroom.
I'm not sure where I would put it. I don't know. I only have like three pieces of office equipment. I have a paper shredder and a printer, and then I have my laptop though, but the laptop lives here in the living room because I'm not the only one who uses it. It gets passed around. So I just need a little home. Right now, my printer and my paper shredder have a little home in the lizard lounge. Y'all, we're talking about lizard lounge, and y'all probably don't know what we're talking about.
It's
We have,
literally a lounge where there are lizards. No,
yes, it is
pretty
not a
nuts.
speakeasy or
Mhm.
a strip club or anything like that. It's a mud room for my posh friends. It's a mud room. It's a tiled room that lives on the side of my house that has glass doors and no ventilation otherwise. It doesn't have a window. It just has the glass sliding door and no AC vents. It's got a flat roof, so it gets very hot in there and very cold in there, depending what time of year it is. And the lizards somehow get in, and we don't know. I have used caulk and grout and all kinds of stuff trying to block them. I don't know where they come from, but it gets full of lizards. So there's proof of lizard. Let's just say I'm not going to get too disgusting, but there's definite proof of lizards. It's very frustrating, especially when my printer paper has to be rotated.
Cool. Okay, so on that
Lizard
note,
nearby.
let's talk about what you want to marinate on this month or this week.
Yes, let's hear your marinade.
I have a quote that's from Page Turner on it's a tweet, whatever you call
I think
it,
it's a
an
tweet.
X post.
Whatever
And
yeah.
Page Turner said, the weird thing about bravery is that if you're doing it right, it feels like fear. The
Mm,
weird thing about bravery is that if you're doing it right, it feels like fear. And I thought that was interesting because I always tell people that fear is not the absence of courage.
mm,
Courage is doing it afraid. And I so I can completely understand and
mm,
identify with that quote. But also I always talk about how faith is not the absence of doubt or fear. And
Mhm.
because people will say, have faith if you express like a concern or a worry about something, and they'll say, have faith. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. You can have faith and still be worried about something. It's
Mhm.
human nature.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Especially,
Uh,
yeah, because we don't have all the details.
oh yeah.
We may know God is in the details, and we may know that He's in control of things, but we don't know what He's going to allow to happen, or how He's going to use the experience or whatever. We don't have all the details. We can't see the underside of the quilt.
Oh yeah. I shared with you earlier this week that one of the things that popped out at me in my daily um, devotional that I'm doing. Our house has been for sale now for 3 months, about roughly, I guess. And I've just been really discouraged that we've reduced the price a few times and it is now well below market value for the area that we're in. And it's a beautiful house in move-in condition. And I'm like, why? Why is it not selling? And so I've been praying about that. And all of a sudden, I opened my daily Bible plan the other day, and 3 days in a row, it has been about uh, being patient and allowing God's timing to dictate everything, not trying to force our timing into it. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you now. I'm one of those people that isn't quiet long enough to listen to the still small voice, and I have to keep saying, shut up, shut up, shut up. And yeah, so I hear you, God. I hear you, and I'm trying to be patient, Lord. And you know what's cool is that the scripture references from Habakkuk and Job and several other books of the Bible, a lot of them talked about how God's timing is perfect timing. And I always think about this. Somebody used an analogy one time in a Bible study I was in or something, and they said that we always look at timing wrong. We'll say, like, um, we'll win $300, right? And then we'll find out that our washing machine broke and we need to replace our washing machine. I don't know if you can even buy a washing machine for $300, but you'll go, oh man, I won this money and now I got to use it to buy a washing machine. I was all excited and now I got to use it to buy a washing machine. But if the washing machine broke and then you won the money, you would be like, oh, God provided that money for me to buy a new washing machine. So it's
Mhm.
all about the timing of how things happen, but your interpretation of that timing.
Mhm.
Like you never think, well, okay, God gave me this money to use for something potentially I should wait and see what it's to use for, and you're all ready to spend it when the washing machine breaks. So I always thought that
Mhm.
was interesting, but um, there's a sense of peace that you get from just knowing God's got it, and we just have to wait for his timing, and his timing is better than ours. Maybe the reason we haven't been able to sell this house is because the one that God has for us to buy is not ready yet, and we're waiting on that. And so
There you go.
telling myself that. And yeah. So, and back to my marinade, I wanted to say about the fear. You know that as a public speaker, I've struggled with a lot of anxiety over the last few years since COVID. And some people think it's related to COVID. I'm not so sure it's related to COVID as much as it was through the grief that I went through and the pressure that I felt during that time to continue doing my speaking and all the
Mhm.
things I was doing and not let the grief shut me down. And I got so overwhelmed at one point that I thought that I was having a nervous breakdown. And I finally got past that. And now I think there's a part of me that is so afraid of being overwhelmed again that I'm afraid to do things. And so doing it afraid, though, is okay because, as you know, I was very anxious about the presentation that I had to do on Tuesday of this past week. And it went so well, and I met so many wonderful people. And while I was doing the presentation, I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. That's where God wanted me. And so the fear was not any sign that I was doing the wrong thing. It was just me dealing with my anxiety. And so, yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but
It did.
well, I'm excited about the topics that we have coming up. We have some good
Yeah.
stuff coming up in September. And in October, we'll be interviewing a really fun person. I won't spoil that, but I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm.
And yeah,
And there's some
so
other good stuff in October. October is a fun month too. We got a lot of good stuff.
Halloween's coming in October. I know Clover is going to be happy about that. We'll have to have Clover on to talk about Halloween.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. We're already decorated over here.
Oh my goodness.
There's bats in the window, and there's a ghost on my porch, and a witch.
We'll have to figure out when the church trunk or treat is and start planning for that. That'll be
Yep.
fun. Well, we will see you again for episode 46 next week. And until then, make yourself a priority.
And take care of you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to keep up on all the latest sauce. See you next time.